All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're taking a look at something pretty interesting, the world of swimming pool cleaning services.
Mm.
But we're going to focus on one key aspect. Why this industry, particularly when it comes to serving those high net worth homeowners, presents a really compelling opportunity for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really smart angle.
So you sent us an industry report and some details about the recent sale of a successful pool service business.
Right.
And what we want to do today is really break this down for you.
Yeah,
Help you understand the dynamics, what makes this specific niche so attractive.
absolutely. We've got, like you said, a comprehensive look at the entire U.S. swimming pool cleaning services industry, just a big picture overview, and then a really fascinating case study of a profitable business in southern New Jersey that was recently sold.
Okay.
So by kind of putting those two together, we hope you'll walk away with a really clear understanding of why focusing on those higher end clients can be a smart move for someone who's looking to build or buy a business.
Perfect. So let's start with the big picture. The industry report tells us that the U.S. swimming pool cleaning services market generated a substantial $7.8 billion in revenue just in 2022.
Wow.
So that just goes to show you the sheer size of this market.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that it's been growing steadily at an annualized rate of 6.1% between 2017 and 2022.
Yeah, healthy growth.
But
But there's more to the story.
there's more to the story. It's projected to moderate a bit down to an annualized 2.0% from 2022 to 2027.
Right.
So this kind of underscores the need to really understand where that demand is coming from.
Right. Where the most stable, profitable demand lies.
Exactly.
That's what we really want to focus on.
So what's been fueling this demand? Well, the report mentions a couple of things. For starters, new swimming pool construction was expected to increase in 2022,
Yeah.
which, makes sense. More pools means more potential customers.
More people needing your services, exactly. And then you have those broader economic trends to consider, like overall consumer spending, which was also projected to rise in 2022.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting for the focus of our deep dive today.
Okay.
It's really about the households earning over $100,000 a year.
Okay.
The report specifically points out that this group is way more likely to hire out for pool services.
Yeah.
And crucially, they're the ones opting for the more frequent, the higher end, the additional services that add more value.
Right. So if you're an entrepreneur thinking about starting a business, targeting these wealthier homeowners really seems like the way to go.
Yeah.
They're not just more likely to need your services,
Yeah.
but are also, like you said, probably going to be less price sensitive,
Right.
a little bit more reliable, and that can really make a big difference.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. You value your time, right?
Yeah.
For a busy professional, somebody who's doing really well, spending their weekends cleaning their pool is probably not how they want to spend their time. Right.
So they're happy to delegate that to somebody they trust, a real expert who can handle it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's what creates the opportunity for businesses that offer that seamless, high-quality experience. They can really command a premium for that convenience and peace of mind.
Yeah.
The report even talks about how the pandemic, when that first hit, it kind of shifted things around a little bit. There was a huge surge in backyard pool installations.
Right.
Because people couldn't go on vacation or do a lot of other things, so they were spending more money at home.
Yeah.
Which kind of helped offset dips in spending on other kinds of services.
Okay.
So it was really interesting to see how that all played out.
And it seems like the market has a couple of distinct segments, right?
Yeah.
Residential households made up like almost 82% of the revenue in 2022.
Wow.
That's huge.
That's a big chunk.
What's really interesting is that after the pandemic, a larger portion of that residential revenue started coming from households that earn under $99,999.
It's probably because of all those new pools that were going in, like we just talked about.
Right.
But the crucial point is that before the pandemic, those higher income households, that's where the majority of the demand was coming from.
That's right. And I think that's really important for entrepreneurs to keep in mind.
Yeah.
There's definitely a broader customer base out there. You can get clients from all different income levels. But if you're looking at it from a purely business perspective,
Yeah.
those affluent homeowners, they represent a more consistent and lucrative market segment. They're more likely to stick around, they're more likely to spend, and they're more likely to really value what you bring to the table.
So what about businesses that aren't necessarily serving individual homeowners?
Right.
What about the commercial side of things?
The commercial market is also pretty substantial, making up about 10.7% of revenue in 2022. That includes things like resorts, theme parks, fitness clubs, all kinds of places where having a pool is part of the experience.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And for them, maintaining that pristine water quality, it's not just about aesthetics, it's about safety, it's about liability, it's about their reputation.
Right. A poorly maintained pool could be a huge problem for them.
Exactly. It could shut them down, it could lead to lawsuits, it could really hurt their business. So they're willing to invest in professional services to make sure everything is running smoothly.
And this is a business, as the report mentions, that is seasonal.
Yeah.
More demand in the warmer months.
Right. But even that seasonality, I think, can be somewhat mitigated by focusing on higher-end clients.
Okay.
They might have indoor pools that require year-round maintenance.
Yeah.
Or even if their outdoor pool isn't in constant use, they still want it to look pristine. They want to protect their investment, so they're more likely to opt for things like winterization and other services.
This kind of evens out a bit.
Exactly. It helps smooth out those fluctuations and creates a more stable income stream for the business.
Okay, so we're getting a clearer picture now of the size of the industry and the importance of focusing on those high-income households.
Right.
Now, let's dive into the actual work itself. What kind of services are in high demand?
The report breaks down the revenue by service type. General cleaning services lead the way at 33.1% of revenue in 2022.
Okay.
This is your bread and butter, routine skimming, vacuuming, all the things you need to keep a pool sparkling clean.
Yeah.
And as we've been discussing, those higher income clients, they're far more likely to be on those regular contracted service plans.
Yeah.
That means recurring revenue for you as a business owner.
That's a huge plus, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That recurring revenue model, it's so attractive for entrepreneurs. It means predictability. It means you can plan for the future. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of running a business.
Yeah, you know what your income's going to be. You can manage your expenses better. It's just a much more stable way to operate.
Right behind cleaning in terms of revenues, chemical adjustments at 30.2%. This is absolutely critical for pool safety.
Yeah.
Maintaining the right chemical balance, it's not optional.
Yeah.
You can't mess around with that. And the report even notes that the rising cost of chlorine, well, service providers have been able to pass those costs on to the customers.
Yeah.
Which goes to show you how essential this service is.
Yeah, people are willing to pay for it because they know how important it is.
And you've got equipment cleaning and maintenance, which accounts for 17.4% of revenue.
Okay.
That's everything from cleaning filters to repairing pumps and heaters, all the things that keep the equipment functioning properly.
Right. It's not just about the water. It's about making sure the whole system's working.
And finally, there's this catch-all category called other services, which makes up 19.3% of revenue.
Right.
This includes your seasonal stuff like winterization, opening and closing pools.
Right.
But it also includes more specialized services that are tailored to different types of pools, different features, the kinds of things you'd see at those higher-end properties.
Yeah, I was just thinking, those infinity pools, those saltwater pools, they probably require a bit more specialized care.
Absolutely. And that's where your expertise and ability to offer those specialized services really comes into play.
Okay, so when we look at the whole picture, the appeal of the high net worth clientele, it really starts to stand out.
Right.
The report really emphasizes that households earning $100,000 or more, they represent a significant portion of the market, like 40.3% of the revenue in 2022.
That's a huge chunk. And what's key here is their willingness to outsource these tasks completely. They're not interested in DIY pool maintenance. They want professionals to handle it.
You've got other things to do.
Exactly. They're busy people. They're successful. They value their time. They're also more likely to commit to those recurring service contracts, those regular visits that provide you with that steady income stream.
Yeah, and that's so important for a business owner.
And they're more open to those additional, potentially higher margin services.
Yeah, they're looking for that premium, hassle-free experience.
They want the best, and they're willing to pay for it.
And even when the economy's not doing so great, this segment tends to be a little more resilient.
That's a great point. Their discretionary income, it's not as affected by economic ups and downs.
Yeah, they've got that cushion.
So it makes them a more stable customer base for a pool service business that's targeting them.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about this real-world example, this pool service and repair business that was recently sold in southern New Jersey.
Okay. Yeah.
This will really bring everything to life. This business, it was doing close to $1 million in annualized revenue in 2022.
Wow.
And they really emphasized recurring revenues.
Yeah, so they've got that stability built in.
And they were really focused on high-end clients.
Yeah, that was their niche. They were serving clients across a pretty wide area, South, Central, and North Jersey, but they weren't just taking anyone who called. They had a very specific target market.
They were intentional about it.
Exactly. And they had those strong relationships with des designers, architects, pool inspectors, all the people who were involved in these high-end projects.
Right, so they were getting referrals from trusted sources.
Exactly. And they had some really long-standing customer relationships. Some of their clients had been with them since the company was actually designing and building pools.
Wow, so they had that legacy.
Yeah, even after they shifted away from full construction in 2014, they continued to service and renovate for these loyal long-term customers.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of loyalty, it's priceless.
It really is. It means less time and money spent on constantly chasing new clients. You've got that solid base that you can rely on.
And the financials of this business are really impressive.
Yeah, let's talk numbers.
$232,450 in discretionary earnings on that almost $1 million in revenue in 2022.
Wow.
That's a really healthy margin.
That's the kind of number that entrepreneurs dream of.
And the asking price was $450,000 with a down payment of $45,000.
So it gives you a sense of the investment involved in acquiring a business like this.
Yeah, it's a significant investment, but the potential return is there.
Absolutely. And the sale included some pretty valuable assets, over $40,000 in furniture, fixtures, and equipment,
Okay.
including 6 vehicles and a utility trailer. That's a whole fleet.
That's a lot of equipment.
You can't effectively serve clients across a large area like that without the right tools and transportation.
Right.
And the staffing structure was also really interesting. They had a mix of full-time and part-time employees handling the day-to-day operations, a dedicated office manager, and a mason and helper who were working year-round.
So they had a pretty solid team in place.
Yeah, and the fact that they had a mason and helper working year-round, that tells you there's that consistent demand for those higher-end maintenance and repair jobs.
It's not just about skimming leaves in the summertime.
Exactly. And during peak season, they scaled up to over 10 employees.
Wow. So you need to be able to manage a team.
Yeah, that's a key takeaway. To succeed in this niche, you have to be able to hire, train, and manage a team of skilled professionals. You can't do it all yourself.
And you've got to meet those high expectations of the clients.
Absolutely. These clients are demanding, they're used to the best, and they expect nothing less.
And the owner was a certified pool operator.
Right.
The business had a home improvement license.
So they had all their credentials in order.
That adds a level of professionalism, credibility.
Yeah. And that matters to those high-end clients.
For sure.
They want to know they're dealing with someone who knows what they're doing, someone they can trust.
And in this case, the owner was selling because of retirement.
Yeah.
No next generation to take over.
So it was a great opportunity for a new entrepreneur to step in.
And it sounds like there was even more room for growth. The listing mentioned the potential to expand the service area.
Right.
Maybe reintroduce pool construction services.
They were turning away new business. That's always a good sign. If you're already having to turn away work, it means there's more demand out there than you can handle.
That unmet demand in that high-end market.
And the seller was willing to provide 4 weeks of training and support at no cost.
That's fantastic.
That's a huge benefit for a new owner, especially if they're not already familiar with all the ins and outs of the business. And even more, the seller was flexible enough to pay the buyer a consulting fee even before the deal was closed to help hire a technician and get familiar with the job sites.
Wow, that's really going above and beyond.
It really shows a commitment to setting the new owner up for success, making sure that they can maintain those valuable relationships with those high-end clients.
Yeah, the seller really wanted the business to continue to thrive.
And the buyer also had to be patient and persistent. They had to work with 2 different banks to secure an SBA loan,
Okay.
which is a reminder that financing a business acquisition, it can take time. Even when it's a well-established, profitable business, you've got to be prepared to jump through some hoops.
Yeah, it's not always a quick and easy process.
Exactly. But the rewards can be worth it.
So when we put everything together, the industry trends, the specifics of this business sale,
Yeah,
it really paints a compelling picture for a potential entrepreneur.
absolutely. The demand from affluent homeowners, the stability of that recurring revenue, the need for a professional, well-managed operation, it's all there.
And the buyer, in this case, really saw that opportunity. They were willing to put in the time, the effort, the money to acquire this business and take it to the next level.
And that's what it takes. You have to be able to see the potential and be willing to make the investment.
So to wrap this up for you, the swimming pool cleaning services industry, specifically when you're focusing on those high net worth homeowners, offers a really strong potential for growth and profitability. These clients, They're more likely to outsource. They're more likely to commit to regular services. They're more likely to spend money on additional offerings. That makes them a really valuable customer base. And this case study we looked at, the pool service business in New Jersey, it really highlights the financial rewards and the importance of building those relationships and a skilled team.
And I think it raises a really interesting question. Looking beyond swimming pools, what other home service sectors could thrive by focusing on this same market?
hmm
Think about it. High-end homeowners, they're looking for specialized, reliable services to maintain their properties.
Yeah.
What other needs do they have? What other areas could you tap into?
Where that focus on quality, professionalism, recurring revenue
Well,
could lead to success.
exactly. There are so many possibilities out there.
So start brainstorming. That's it for this week's Deep Dive. See you next time.
See you next time.